Since the economy has plummeted, people have been looking at ways to save money. They have started clipping coupons, even though they told themselves that's something I'm never going to do. That's so embarrassing. People have gone without things that are unnecessary. Another way to save money is by being more self-sufficient. Another thing that it seems like we don't have enough of is time. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. By changing your own oil, you can save both time and money. The first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out which kind of oil your car requires. You can do this by checking underneath the hood on the oil filler cap. For example, mine says 5W20 right there in black letters. Another great spot to check is your owner's manual. And in your owner's manual, it'll also let you know how much oil you need, whether it be 4 quarts, 5 quarts, 6 quarts, and so on. Once you have found out which kind and how much oil you'll need, you can go to the store and you can pick up the oil and a filter. You can look at in a book or a computer that's usually located right by the filters, or you can ask a friendly associate to find out which kind of filter is right for your vehicle. So far you have the oil and you have a filter. A couple other things you might need would be a drain pan, a funnel, a filter wrench, and some rags, as it can be a messy job. So now that you have all those items, you can get started. For cars and SUVs, you'll more than likely have to jack up your vehicle or drive it on ramps. Trucks you can usually go underneath because they're high enough. So you want to open up your hood, take off the filler cap, which is located right there. You can see it's like it says 5W20 usually on it, or whatever kind of oil. Next you want to place the drain pan underneath the oil pan of the engine. With a correct size wrench, you are going to want to remove the oil plug and let it drain out completely. On the plug there might be some metal shavings. Wipe that off before you replace your plug. Then you're going to want to push the drain pan underneath the oil filter. If necessary, you'll have to use a filter wrench to remove the filter. Sometimes you can just do it by hand. You want to dump the filter into the drain pan, dump all that oil out, and then check your filter to ensure that O-ring is still in place and it's not stuck up on the engine. If it is, you can set the filter aside. If not, you'll just need to pull off that O-ring from the engine before replacing the filter to ensure that no leaks in the future. So now you want to take your new filter and your new oil and rub just a little bit of oil on the O-ring of the new filter to just lubricate it up a little bit and make sure it won't stick when you try to take it off the next oil change. Now it's time to screw on that filter. Once you screw it on hand tight, you might want to go a quarter turn with a filter wrench. So once you've done that, you can drive your vehicle off of the jack or off of the ramps or remove the jack, and underneath the hood you'll need to place a funnel in the oil filler neck and start filling with oil. Once you have filled your vehicle with the appropriate amount of oil, and you want to replace that oil filler cap, you want to then start your vehicle. Let it run for a couple seconds and go outside and check underneath your vehicle and make sure that it's not leaking. If you find no leaks, you can shut off your car. Let it sit for about 30 seconds, and then you want to check and make sure you put enough oil in there. And you use your dipstick. A dipstick is that circular handled thing that's located right underneath your hood. You want to pull it straight out, use a rag or a paper towel and wipe it off completely. Put the dipstick back in that hole all the way and pull it out again. You'll notice 2 lines on the end of the dipstick, and you'll want your oil mark to be between those 2 lines. If it's not quite there, you'll want to add a little bit more oil. If it's too far, then that means you put too much oil in and you'll want to drain some out, because that can be bad for your engine. One thing that people think is the biggest hassle is disposing of the oil in the filter. You must dispose of them properly, because you can't just throw the filter in the garbage or dump the oil in your burning barrel. You have to follow, the state laws. Pennzoil states that you can drop off old oil and oil filters at your closest Jiffy Lube, Walmart Tire and Lube Express, or most oil change centers to be recycled properly, and it's usually at no charge. Most mechanics will tell you to change your oil in your filter every 3,000 miles. If you decide you can go with a 5,000 mile oil, a synthetic oil, things like that will let you go a little bit longer without having to change right away. But the bottle will tell you exactly how far you can drive with before you need to change your oil again. You should change your filter every time you change your oil. I mean, why would you replace that grimy oil and keep the filter? The filter usually has like metal shavings in it and just a film of oil around it, so it's suggested to change your filter every time you change your oil. So you don't need much time or really that many tools, and more than about $20. So now that I've taught you how to change your oil, aren't you excited to put those skills to the test and change your own oil or your friends? Well, whether you're excited or not, it's a lot easier on your pocketbook and it's more convenient. You can do it when you want and not have to wait for them to get you in to change the oil.